Education update on independent television. My name is Gabriel Zachary, your regular host in the program. And of course, it's a couple of days into the Tinubu'S administration, and we are hoping to see who is going to be at the helms of affairs when it comes to the education ministry, who will become minister. And we are also hoping to see whether there will be a reduction in out-of-school children, and we are also hoping to see whether there will be an end to the industrial action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities that has become a yearly affair. And also we're going to see whether there will be an improvement in infrastructure in education, and also we wait to see the fate of the Almajiris. You remember during the Goodluck Jonathan's regime, you know, he emphasized and dealt so much on the Almajiris, so much expectations, and of course, as we keep our fingers crossed, we will see what in the nearest future will become the fate of the education sector, the sector that someone says is the most important of all the sectors. And in this show, Education Update on ITV, we bring you up to date with what is happening. And I'm going to have two guests on the show particularly that are going to tell us some of the things that the Tinubu'S administration needs to do if they have to fix the education sector as it is today. And my first guest is going to be on phone. He is the former presidential aspirant of the Social Democratic Party, the SDP, Prince Adewale Adebayo. And my second guest will be someone who is strongly also in the education sector, Odinaka. She's of the Kasefa group, and she's going to tell us their expectation and what are those things that should be done to get the education sector on its feet and running. I would immediately connect with my first guest on phone, Prince Adewale Adebayo. Okay, hello, sir.
Yes, ITV.
Okay, you're welcome to the show. This is education. You're on to education updates on independent television, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm fine, sir. We are with the presidential aspirant of the Social Democratic Party, Prince Adewale Adebayo. Sir, a couple of days, if you like, to this administration. What are those things you think should be done to fix the education sector?
Well, everything that should be done to feed the education sector have been said by me during my campaign. What we can say to the APC government of President Tinubu is what is contained in their own renewed hope. I cannot give them a Social Democratic Party manifesto to implement. They have their own ideas. But what is a minimum is that Chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution wants an enlightened society. An enlightened society of educated people. So the abolition of illiteracy is a right that Nigerians should expect of any government, whatever the manifesto of that government is. Education should be put in the forefront. And to deal with education means that you have to connect education as a nexus for poverty alleviation. And all the other civil liberties that we enjoy are attached to how much education we have. So education is also a way to get citizens to be conscious of their duties under Section 2 or under Chapter 2 of the Constitution. So basically, the federal government is responsible in conjunction with the states. Education is a concurrent item in the Constitution. So the duty of the federal government is to make sure that I suppose that it is not too much to give free and qualitative education to Nigerians. I think we all agree on that. So it is now up to President Tinubu to do what President Buhari did not do, which was to look for somebody who has the talent, the interests, and the pedigree to deal with education. I'm sure you have seen or heard of the confessional statement made by the immediate past education minister, Adamu, who said when he was asked to be education minister, he did not know the meaning of education and what it's all about. He had no experience about it. He had to go and consult somebody to say, what did they do with this minister of education? What is this place about? And things like that. You don't want to start on that note. You will notice that he didn't have a good time. He didn't understand all the stakeholders or any of the stakeholders in the industry. He had problem with ASU. He walked out on Nigerian students. He himself kept his own children overseas at the expense of the public. And he was behaving more like the personal biographer of the president then than an education minister. So that kind of calamity and disaster is what you don't want. So you don't want industrial unrest in the education industry sector. You want quality education. You want to give them funding, and you want to make sure you don't use the universities as a place to compensate failed politicians. So somebody contests election, he doesn't win, you say, don't worry, we'll give you a government appointment. And what is that? You put them on the governing council of universities where they have no interest, they don't know what's going on, they're only looking out for petty contracts for themselves.
All right, thank you very much.
All of that, I don't see anything that can go wrong with the educational sector.
All right, thank you very much, Prince. Talking about industrial unrest in our tertiary institutions, before we get to that, and of course, the former Minister of Education, Adamu, also said that he was quoted out of context when he said he didn't know anything about education. Yes, okay, let's look at the issues of the Almajiris. That's the one that was largely touched by the former administration before that of Buhari. How pronounced it is, and how can we really address issues of the Almajiris?
The Almajiri, I spoke extensively during the campaign. Ours will be the best program to deal with it. The Almajiri system has three threads. One is a subset of religious education. Because Islamic tradition, we are lucky in this country that God has blessed us with the great religions of the earth. Christianity, Islam, and then we have our own traditional religious beliefs that are copied all over the world. So religion is a good tradition we have here. And Almajiri education is a subset of an attempt to get young people exposed to Islamic liturgy at early stage. Second, it is assessed with poverty, because both the rich and poor are found in Islam. But you don't find the children of ministers, business tycoons, emirs, in Almajiri school roaming about the streets. So you will know that the social class that the children come from, it's one of the reasons why the Almajiri is now a negative experience. So if we have a way to deal with poor people, to reduce the number of poor people in the country, towards eradicating poverty in the country, you won't even have to worry about Almajiri school anymore, because one, our poverty alleviation system will have eliminated the need for anybody to beg anybody for food. Second, we will have enrolled every child in a proper formal school, and we will now incorporate Islamic training, Islamic education into the formal school system. And even if you don't have enough sheikhs and ustads to go around all the schools, it could mean that they will do it the way they used to do it when I was in school. Any specialized training, technical training, home economics, there used to be a center. So on a particular day, you take the children from their formal school, they go to that center of Islamic training, they get the training and come back. So we can do it. But you cannot eliminate Almajiri system because we need it, we desire it. Secondly, you cannot eradicate poverty affecting Almajiri students when poverty is affecting the families from which they arose. So that is where the problem comes. You have to tackle poverty at the family level, so that every mother, every father, every uncle, every guardian, every auntie can feed a child at home. And that is the worst excess that we see in Almajiri. It's not the Almajiri system that is the problem. It is that it is an experiment, a social experiment involving poor people. And every social experiment involving poor people, whether it's orphanage, whether it's apprenticeship, whatever, and where a poor man meets the system, the poor man is not going to have a good experience.
All right. You see, during the past regime, the immediate past regime, it seems like that Almajiri school that was started by President Goodluck Jonathan was completely abandoned. Why was it so? And seeing that those who were at the helms of affairs from that same region.
Let's start from the Almajiri. The beneficiary of President Jonathan's Almajiri are his PDP members, because they got contracts to go and construct Almajiri schools, and they went and bought Mercedes and houses with the money.
So that is an indictment to Goodluck Jonathan's administration.
Every administration has made one mistake or the other, and Jonathan is an uncle of mine. We're very close. He has never told me that he's a saint or that he doesn't make mistakes. So the reason why we review all these activities is to make sure that the next person doesn't make the same mistake. What they did in the Almajiri system was just basically another government awarding contract. It was not a plan originated by the Almajiri, by the Islamic education traditional system. So if you want to intervene next time, you intervene through the traditional system. Because you build an Almajiri school, it costs you 100 million. Who is the contractor? The contractor is not involved in Islamic education. It's gone away with it. You just hand over the school to the sheikh. Who pays the salary of the sheikh for the next 10 years? Who feeds the children in the Almajiri school? So painting a beautiful school and putting it there isn't enough. That's what I'm saying. So next time we will do two things. One, we will make sure that poverty is tackled in the homes where these children come from. Because for the most part, Almajiri status is just an excuse to beg. They do more of begging than learning. So you want to make sure that you deal with hunger in the families where they are coming from. You deal with homelessness, so they will be home. Then from home, they will be like any other student going to any school. Second thing you want to do is that you don't want to separate Islamic education from formal education, because when I was growing up, CRK, Christian Religious Knowledge, which in my own senior sister started to call it BK, Bible Knowledge. It was just any subject within our school. We finished mathematics, you finish chemistry, you finish English. The next person that shows up is your Christian Religious Knowledge teacher, CRK. You are in the same governance classroom, you are in the same environment, and you are learning about Moses parting the Red Sea. There is no other center you have to go and learn that. And Islam and Christianity are 99% the same. So there isn't anything mysterious about Islamic education, except that it's rendered in Arabic. So, and Arabic studies are supposed to be learned by every Nigerian, whether you are a Muslim or you are a Christian.
All right, Prince.
It's a language like French.
All right, Prince, if you were to retain any of the policies of the past administration, especially like the homeschool feeding program that has been credited enrolling more students in school, what is the program of the past administration you think they should retain in this administration when it comes to the education sector?
Not much of it, because the home feeding was feeding more of the people in the government. Yeah, because if you go around, you don't find most of the children that they say they feed. So it's a colossal waste of money. what we should do is to, one, apply our resources in such a way that there will be no child needing to go to school to feed, because it's important. Except on ceremonial days or other days, children should feed at home. And then during lunch hour, they can feed in the school dormitory, the way we used to do it. But the idea that we can decorate poverty, where a woman has 5 children and one is attending school and you are feeding only that one while in school, is as an absent-minded way to run the government. And it's an excuse to give contract to friends in politics and say, just like they say they are feeding prisoners. You can rarely see a healthy prisoner except a former senator or former governor in prison. So what I want us to understand is that we must have a system-wide approach to deal with poverty. So that, like, when I was in school, we used to feed at school.
Even at tertiary level, I remember when they used to even, serve students food at tertiary level.
Exactly. When we were in school, we used to laugh at the food. My friends and I would laugh at the food because the food we were bringing from home was superior to the food in the school. And when we were in hostel, we were eating home food. In fact, at the time, they had to make a law that should not bring caution parents. Don't let your children bring food to the school again because they are overfeeding and they won't pay attention to the study. But now it's opposite. Even at the time I had one of the ministers, the minister that was appropriately named a disaster, she was saying that not only were they feeding the children in school, they used to give them something to take back home. So just imagine the calamity where the parent says it is the food brought home from the school that maybe one half packet of spaghetti is what we are cooking for the rest of the children at home. No, the education is not the place where you have hungry students at home and you feed them once a day and assume that they're going to pay attention. They won't do homework, they won't do anything. So what you need to do is let us eliminate poverty, and to do that, we need to eliminate corruption because there is enough money to make everybody gainfully employed and to address the issue of employment for people at home, and then to stabilize the currency so that the salary of people can last them a whole month. And then any other addition you want to add in school will just be just an add-on to it. But the most important way to tackle poverty is that at household level, you don't have poor people. So back to your question, there isn't any program in the last administration of President Buhari which had anything good to do with education. President Buhari was totally unable to make a mark in the education sector.
All right, we must thank you. All right.
For 2 reasons, he had a weak minister who didn't know jack about education. Secondly, he had a non-compassionate minister for labor who had psychological warfare with the workers. So he didn't sit down with them to work this out.
All right, thank you, Prince Adewale Adebayo. Must thank you sincerely for your thoughts, and we will surely expect that this administration fix the issues in the education sector. Once more, thank you very much for coming to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, and God bless Nigeria.
All right, God bless everyone. Thank you. All right, that was Prince Adewale Adebayo, one-time STV presidential aspirant. And we will go on a short break. When we come back, we'll talk to another stakeholder briefly before the show is off. And of course, I have another education stakeholder online, and she is going to be talking to us on how to fix education in the country, in Tinubu'S administration particularly. And we're speaking with Odinaka, and she's Kasefa. Hello, madam.
Okay, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, you're on to Independent Television Education Update, and it's good to have you. We will begin immediately. How best do you think we can fix education in the Tinubu's administration?
We have serious challenge in education issue, especially at the basic level. Before we talked about the Tinubu administration, I think it is appropriate for Sakefa to congratulate Mr. President and to remind him that he owed Nigeria the dividends of democracy, even the unborn children, the duty to deliver a renewed hope agenda as he promised the country. So we know that there are so many issues in education issues, and looking at Mr. President's inaugural speech, there was nothing that really showed that this government is really willing to invest in education, because there was nowhere education was mentioned in that inaugural speech. But we believe that the government just came in and there are a whole lot of things they need to do to put things together. But we believe that any government that did not put education as a priority has really failed from the beginning, because you know that every other sector revolved around education. If we want to get the economy working, we need to invest in our education system. Now, one of the things that need to be done is to ensure that there is increase in education funding. The funding in education is so poor. The last administration promised to increase the education from 10% to 26% that is recommended by UNESCO. Unfortunately, that promise was not made. So, and we believe that this government will really continue from where the previous administration stopped, by ensuring that that mandate of increasing education budget to 26% is achieved within their first tenure. So one of the things that need to be done to put education in a limelight is to see how this, because we know that within the education system there are a whole lot of corruption that has been going on. There is no accountability and transparency on the spending on education funding. So it is important for the new administration to ensure that there is more accountability by ensuring that citizens and civil society like NGO, like Takefa, is being carried along to monitor the spending on education issues and to say that the money is well spent, and to also make sure that the state government assess the UBE funding and utilize the funding. So if the corruption in education system is curtailed, we are going to see a whole lot of improvement on education sector.
All right.
Another issue is security. At the moment, with 20 million out of school children still counting, it's alarming that a country like Nigeria, that we are the proud to say that we are the giant of Africa, is having this huge number of out of school children, which subjects in the northeast. But if you look at the security issue in Nigeria, it has cut across the 6 geopolitical zone. So it's not only in the north. Issue of security is now in all the states in Nigeria, kidnapping of school children and all that. So the present administration needs to ensure that our school is safe for our children.
All right, the school is safe for students. Just to round off, because we are running out of time, you know, a lot of people have also accused the civil society, you know, of not adequately being transparent in what they do. Do you agree with that, especially, you know, when it comes to handling policy in education?
No, I don't agree with that, in the sense that at Sakefa,
but there is wrangling amongst even the civil society. So they say that the civil society have not been able to, you know, come together and unite to work as one.
To a large extent, I might say yes, but civil society is doing a lot. One of the challenges we are facing, if it is in terms of accountability, organization like Sakefa, that is a membership organization of over 800 members that work on education issues in Nigeria, accountability and transparency is our watchword, because the funding that we assess is a global fund that you need to be account for. And in terms of unity, we are working in harmony with all the CSOs and other development partners to ensure that we do our work in a very transparent manner. So, for this administration, we are looking at inclusiveness, because most partners, especially government, see CSOs as they are not seeing us as a partner. They are seeing us as people that are coming to antagonize them or to monitor what they are doing. Yes, we need to monitor what they are doing, but they should also remove the bureaucracy within the government system, seeing CSO as partners in progress. We have the expertise, we have the skills, and we are coming together to support what they are doing, not necessarily probing them. But why are they worried about probing? If you are doing the right thing, you don't need to be afraid of someone coming to check your books or coming to check your records. So, we are partners in progress. All we are asking is enabling environment for us to come in to see what they are doing, and also for them to see us as partners to also know what we are doing. We report to them, we report to, at the global level, what CSOs are doing, especially from SACEFA perspective. We report all our expenditures, we report all our activities, we submit our report to the Federal Ministry of Education, and we engage them in all our activities. So if you are talking about in terms of transparency, I think to a large extent we have that obligation, sir.
Okay, I will now know Odin Nakachi is a policy advisor for SACEFA. We must thank you very much for coming to the program, and your thoughts is well noted. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that's about the size of education update this week, and we'll come again and we'll still be looking at setting agenda for the Tinubu'S administration and hoping that we fix issues in the education sector. I remain your regular host, Gabriel Zakari, and thank you.